Nothing here is overly alarming, just dial back on the chili and you'll be absolutely fine. Trust me, I get how that feels. If you need to vent, find someone else to listen, but we're going to dive into something truly bizarre. Alright, let's be honest for a minute, either the creative masterminds behind The Simpsons discovered time travel or they have an uncanny knack for predicting our future. The more I examine their eerie forecasts, the tougher it is to dismiss them as random chance, and I'll explain why in a moment. You've shown up for one reason and one reason only, to launch your own pseudo-cryptocurrency inspired by Bitcoin, and here's why you should keep listening. Today, we're delving into some of The Simpsons' most bone-chilling predictions, which might make you rethink what's truly possible in the world. These aren't just throwaway gags, but predictions that'll make you wonder if this is mere animation or something far more unnerving. Trust me, you'll want to stick around for the final revelation because what comes next will blow your mind. First up, the Los Angeles wildfires, devastating blazes that rip through California every year with an unstoppable force. But when a 2007 Simpsons episode depicted a conflagration so similar to what we've seen in recent years, fans couldn't believe their eyes. Could the show really have foreseen the catastrophic fires that ravaged LA, or was it just a coincidence? Not exactly, but the parallels are too precise to ignore, and this is where it gets really creepy. In Season 18, Episode 12, titled Little Big Girl, Springfield is engulfed in a monstrous inferno threatening every street corner, which looks eerily similar to recent real-life fires in California. The visuals in the episode are unnervingly close to real-life footage from recent LA fire seasons, and it's hard to deny the resemblance. We see flames devouring entire blocks, firefighters waging desperate battles, and families scrambling to escape the devastation. Someone on TikTok already spliced those cartoon scenes with actual news clips, and the resemblance sent shivers down viewers' spines, leaving many questioning how the show could have predicted this. That mashup went viral overnight, and the comment sections on social media looked like forums for apocalypse theorists. Viewers posted messages like, "How on earth did they anticipate this?" Some even pleaded for an episode about world peace, thinking it might materialize next. Strangely, that suggestion isn't half bad, but let's pump the brakes before we start accusing Matt Groening of occult powers. Experts insist this isn't supernatural, it's just brilliant writing, and there's a logical explanation behind it. Consider California's long history with wildfires, where climate change, dry seasons, and volatile terrain make major blazes all but inevitable, and The Simpsons simply highlighted a recurring crisis. Pacific Palisades alone has endured multiple major fires in recent decades, so was this a true prophecy or just writers doing their homework? Fires aren't the only disaster The Simpsons might have forecast, because while that Springfield blaze owed more to smart research than sorcery, their next prediction is downright surreal and incredible to consider. Imagine a world where you never need actual food again, a world where your meals are consumed digitally, and sounds preposterous, right? Yet this futuristic cuisine glows neon green, fizzes in your mouth, and tingles your senses, much like something ripped straight from the pages of a sci-fi novel. But believe it or not, Springfield's cartoon world beat us to it, predicting a digital culinary future long before it became a reality. In one episode, Homer and Marge don virtual reality headsets and literally sip digital fudge through glowing straws, a gag that seemed like pure fantasy at the time. If that felt like pure fantasy, think again, because fast forward to today, and VR fine dining experiences have become a cutting-edge reality. Imagine arriving at an upscale restaurant and, instead of a platter of seared steak, you slip on a headset, completely changing your dining experience. Suddenly, you're no longer in a banquet hall, you're exploring an alien jungle or drifting through an undersea city, experiencing flavors that are perfectly synced with the virtual world you see. This isn't a stunt, it's a service called AeroBanquets RMX, which pairs high-end French cuisine with state-of-the-art VR to create a truly multi-sensory feast. Sight, sound, smell, and taste are all woven together into a single immersive experience, creating a new way to enjoy food that The Simpsons couldn't have predicted more accurately. One moment, you're savoring foie gras under a virtual Parisian sky, and the next you're wandering a coral reef teeming with fish, experiencing something entirely out of this world. Nearby diners might be trekking through a glowing forest on another planet, sipping digital desserts, in a dining experience that's hard to believe is real. Restaurants around the world are already experimenting with these sensory adventures, and the concept is gaining serious attention. If you had pitched this idea before The Simpsons aired their VR food episode, people would have laughed it off as absurd, but here we are, living inside what once seemed pure animated fantasy. Virtual cuisine, a gag in 2007, has now become a real, cutting-edge industry by 2025, and The Simpsons nailed that prediction far ahead of its time. If The Simpsons nailed that prediction, what else did they preview? And brace yourself because the next one is truly mind-bending and beyond imagination. Flashback to 1998's The Wizard of Evergreen Terrace, where Homer, in a sudden burst of inspiration, decides to become an inventor. He paces around scribbling random numbers across a chalkboard in wild abandon, which to any onlooker looks like nothing more than scribbles from a madman. Fast forward 14 years, and the world's most eminent physicists at CERN confirm the existence of the Higgs boson, the legendary God particle, which was a monumental scientific discovery. Astonishingly, if you plug Homer's chalkboard numbers into the actual physics equations, his nonsense mass calculation comes remarkably close to the real boson's mass, which is nothing short of mind-blowing. Seriously, what are the odds that a cartoon scribble would nearly hit the scientific bullseye? Before you crown Homer Simpson a clandestine physics savant, know this: The Simpsons writing staff includes bona fide science geeks who carefully research and incorporate real science into their stories. Dr. Simon Singh, a respected physicist author, analyzed the chalkboard scene and confirmed its eerie precision, finding that Homer's formula overshoots the discovered Higgs mass by only a small margin. Show co-writer David X. Cohen once sat next to a future Columbia University astronomer in high school, ensuring that the math was more than just throwaway geek humor. So that prophecy was actually the collision of comedic flair and genuine scientific know-how, and it was a brilliant blend of humor and accuracy. But The Simpsons' clairvoyance doesn't stop at particle physics, as back in 1992's Brother, Can You Spare Two Dimes?, Homer's half-brother Herb Powell unveils a gadget that translates baby babble into coherent English. At the time, it seemed like pure slapstick, but today, AI firms tout apps and devices that analyze an infant's cry patterns, distinguishing hunger from fatigue and even gauging discomfort. Though this technology is still maturing, it inches ever closer to Herb Powell's fictional baby translator, and the real-world implications of this innovation are getting closer every day. Of course, skeptics caution that no digital device can ever rival a parent's natural instinct, as too much reliance on algorithms might erode our innate caregiving senses. Still, The Simpsons highlighted a future frontier in human-machine interaction that is becoming a reality as technology continues to advance. And speaking of athletic feats, let's discuss sports prognostication because The Simpsons has predicted more than just disasters and technological breakthroughs. In the 2010 episode Boy Meets Curl, Homer and Marge form Springfield's first mixed curling team, unexpectedly qualifying for the Winter Olympics finals against Sweden and winning the gold medal. 8 years later, at Pyeongchang 2018, Team USA's curling squad defeated Sweden to claim their first Olympic gold, and the opponents and outcome mirrored the cartoon script with uncanny accuracy. Writer Rob Lazebnik took to social media in disbelief, celebrating how his fictional matchup became a reality 8 years on, and the similarity was shocking to say the least. But their tech predictions aren't limited to food and sports, as in 2016's Friends and Family, Mr. Burns hires The Simpsons to simulate his perfect family via VR headsets. A few years later, tech giants unveiled mixed reality devices like Apple's Vision Pro that echo the show's vision, blurring the lines between fiction and reality. Way back in 2014, the show even spoofed wearable AR glasses eerily similar to early Google Glass prototypes. Switching gears to finance, who foresaw Bitcoin's wild ascent? The Simpsons did. In 2020's Frank Coin, Professor Frink mocks the idea of crazy meme-driven cryptocurrencies. Then in 2021's Burger King's, Marge watches a stock ticker streaming Bitcoin with an infinity symbol beside it, hinting at the unstoppable digital cash movement. Though Bitcoin hasn't literally hit infinity, the essence of unstoppable digital cash was already sketched in Springfield's satire, which seemed ahead of its time. Through its trademark humor, the show captured the zeitgeist of decentralization and mocked obsolete banking systems long before crypto fever took hold. But wait, there's more, and we're only scratching the surface of these astounding predictions. In 2006's Homer's Paternity Coot, Homer and Mason Fairbanks pilot a small submersible hunting for sunken treasure. They plunge into the deep, oxygen runs low, communications go dark, and Homer loses consciousness, only to awaken days later in a hospital. Fast forward to June 18, 2023, when the Titan submersible imploded on a Titanic expedition, tragically killing all aboard, and the parallels are chilling. Deep-sea vessel, oxygen failure, lost contact. How could the show have predicted this event so accurately? A Simpsons producer later confessed he'd experienced blackout comms during real subdives, making the cartoon less prophecy and more a reflection of real risks. Fans still can't help but marvel at the coincidence, and the parallels are undeniably eerie. Now let's pivot to politics, where The Simpsons also nailed several predictions. In the 2008 Treehouse of Horror, Homer's attempt to vote for Obama on an electronic machine registers as McCain repeatedly, and the machine even tries to swallow him. 4 years later, Pennsylvania polling stations reported identical glitches flipping Obama votes to Romney, mirroring the cartoon's satirical prediction. Coincidence or satirical premonition? And, of course, The Simpsons famously predicted Donald Trump's presidency way back in 2000, and the accuracy of this prediction raises even more questions. By what stretch do we still call these all random chance? Music history gets its own twist too. In 1990's AXS Homerpalooza, a festival promoter quips about Cypress Hill performing with the London Symphony Orchestra. Nearly 3 decades later, on July 10, 2024, Cypress Hill and the LSO shared the stage at Royal Albert Hall in a dream-come-true collaboration, fulfilling an unlikely joke. Influential tweets dating back to 2017 stoked fan excitement and helped turn a throwaway joke into reality, showing how The Simpsons can influence real events. Finally, let's bust the Queen's death myth, as after Queen Elizabeth II died on September 8, 2022, fabricated clips circulated claiming The Simpsons depicted her coffin with the date etched on screen. Total fabrication, no such scene exists, and the closest nod was 2003's The Regina Monologues, where Homer crashes into the Queen's carriage, no prophecy involved. So what's the verdict on these uncanny parallels? Are they the product of razor-sharp satire tuned to societal trends, or do the writers secretly peer into tomorrow's headlines? Maybe it's masterful research amplified by meme culture. Or perhaps, beneath that yellow animation, they glimpse something real. What's your take? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And while you're here, smash that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you never miss another deep dive into pop culture's wildest enigmas. Because if The Simpsons prove anything, it's that the future always holds truly astonishing surprises. Now, let's examine another realm where The Simpsons eerily mirrored real-world events: nuclear power plant oversight. In the Season 5 episode titled Homer Goes to College, we witness the Nuclear Regulatory Commission intervening to inspect the Springfield nuclear power plant. Homer Simpson, the safety inspector, is revealed to be woefully unqualified for the position, leading to a catastrophic situation. During a training simulation, he inadvertently triggers a virtual core meltdown, and the NRC inspectors react with horror as alarms blare and warning lights flash. They inform Mr. Burns that without a thorough overhaul and proper training, criminal charges could follow, but instead of addressing the issue, he tries to bribe the regulators. His brazen effort to escape accountability reflects a darker truth about corporate malfeasance, and in the real world, similar oversight failures have led to genuine disasters. Consider Chernobyl on April 26, 1986, where a flawed reactor design combined with operator errors led to a massive explosion. Fire and radiation spewed into the atmosphere for 9 days, and more than 300,000 people were evacuated from a 15-mile exclusion zone. The event contaminated vast swaths of Europe with radioactive fallout, and similarly, in March 2011, the Fukushima Daiichi plant in Japan faced catastrophe. A magnitude 9 earthquake generated a tsunami that overpowered the plant's sea walls, causing backup generators to flood and fail, resulting in core meltdowns and radioactive contamination. These real-world tragedies underscore the vital importance of rigorous regulation, which is a theme The Simpsons addressed years before. The Simpsons' satire on neglected oversight was embarrassingly prescient, and its message continues to ring true in the real world. Thank you for joining us on this in-depth exploration of The Simpsons' most startling predictions. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. We'll see you next time for another journey into pop culture's most uncanny revelations.